Young Kaizen. He was just a regular fellow, wasn't he? Leading a simple life with simple dreams in a simple town, but destiny, oh destiny, had other grander plans for him. One fateful night, a meteor streaked across the inky black sky. Not just any meteor, mind you. This celestial visitor crashed near Kaizen's home, pulsating with an otherworldly glow. Curiosity, that irresistible human trait, pulled him closer. He touched it, and bam! A jolt of unimaginable cosmic energy surged through his very being. His world in that instant was forever changed, you see. He felt different, stronger, but also utterly confused by this sudden immense power. Then, as if summoned by the cosmic disturbance itself, she appeared. Rinaka, a mysterious woman cloaked in enigma with eyes that held the wisdom of galaxies. She wasn't from around here, that was for sure.
Ancient prophecies, cosmic balances, and a power source of legend. The meteor has awakened something within you, Kaizen, something called the Eclipse core. This core is a wellspring of immense cosmic energy, a power that could shape destinies. You, Kaizen, are now a vessel of something truly extraordinary.
Kaizen's initial reaction? Utter bewilderment, of course. This was too much to take in. Cosmic energy? Eclipse core? It sounded like something straight out of a fantastical comic book, not his quiet life. He tried to control this new power, this strange energy thrumming within his veins. But it was wild, untamed, like a raging river. Sometimes it would flicker, sometimes it would explode in small, uncontrolled bursts. Rinaka, bless her mysterious heart, offered guidance. She taught him the basics, the very first steps in understanding this incredible and frankly quite dangerous gift. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with peril. And peril was not far behind, no sir. The awakening of Kaizen's Eclipse core did not go unnoticed in the vast cosmos. Small-time cosmic troublemakers, drawn like moths to a flame, began to appear. These early skirmishes were Kaizen's first real taste of battle. He was clumsy, hesitant, relying more on raw power than skill. But with each encounter, guided by Rinaka's cryptic advice, he learned. He adapted. He understood that this power was not just a gift, but a responsibility, a heavy one at that. The universe was a much bigger and scarier place than he had ever imagined, full of things wanting his power. The path to mastering the Eclipse core was not going to be a walk in the park. Oh no, Rinaka knew this. So she led Kaizen to Master Vor, an ancient, wise, and decidedly eccentric mentor. Master Vor's training methods were unconventional, to say the least. He made Kaizen balance on impossibly thin poles, meditate under waterfalls of freezing cosmic energy, and fight illusions that preyed on his deepest fears. It was grueling. It was bizarre. But undeniably, it was effective. Kaizen's control over his cosmic energy began to solidify. He learned discipline, focus, and the true meaning of inner strength. Vor pushed him to his limits, and then pushed him some more.
Discipline, focus, and inner strength, Kaizen. These are the keys to mastering your power. Push beyond your limits and then push even further.
But while Kaizen trained, a shadow stirred in the dark corners of the cosmos. An ancient evil, Zurak, began to awaken. Zurak! A name whispered in fear across galaxies, a being of immense power sealed away eons ago now sensed the shift in cosmic energies. He sensed Kaizen. Zurak's influence began to spread, his dark tendrils reaching out, corrupting worlds and beings. The threat was no longer minor. It was colossal, overwhelming. Kaizen, even with his growing power, couldn't face this alone. The universe itself seemed to tremble at Zurak's impending return. He was a big deal, a proper villain. The realization dawned. A team was needed, a force to stand against Zurak's darkness. Kaizen, with Rinaka's help, embarked on a new quest. Not for power, but for allies. He sought out other fighters, individuals touched by cosmic energies, each with their own unique abilities and, let's be honest, their own eccentricities. There was Lyra, the nimble energy blaster with a sharp wit. And Gron, the stoic, rock-skinned giant with a heart of gold. And Zephyr, the enigmatic speedster who seemed to be everywhere at once. Each one was a powerhouse in their own right, but could they work together? That was the million-rupee question. And so Team Eclipse Force was born. Their first few missions together were chaotic, to put it mildly. Personalities clashed, egos flared. Their fighting styles were as diverse as their backgrounds. Gron's brute strength often got in the way of Lyra's precise shots. Zephyr's speed sometimes left everyone else in the dust, literally, but under the looming threat of Zurak. And with Kaizen's emerging leadership, they began to find their rhythm. They learned to trust each other, to combine their strengths, to cover each other's weaknesses. They were becoming more than just a group of fighters. They were becoming a team, a proper fighting unit. The battles against Zurak's ever-expanding legion of monstrous minions became increasingly fierce. These weren't just minor scuffles anymore. These were life-or-death struggles for the fate of entire planets. Team Eclipse Force was thrown into the crucible again and again. Each fight pushed them to their limits. They faced grotesque beasts, cunning commanders, and overwhelming numbers. But with every victory, hard-won as it was, their teamwork solidified. Lyra learned to coordinate her blasts with Gron's earth-shattering punches, while Zephyr created openings for Kaizen to deliver devastating blows. They were a symphony of destruction, a beautiful, chaotic dance of combat. It was during one such desperate battle, when all seemed lost, that Kaizen experienced his first major transformation, the Eclipse Spark. Pushed beyond his breaking point, his Eclipse core erupted, bathing him in a blinding golden aura. His power skyrocketed. His attacks became faster, stronger, imbued with raw cosmic fury. This new power turned the tide of the battle, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. But this transformation, while potent, was also volatile. It was a raw burst, difficult to sustain, difficult to control. It was a taste of something much, much bigger.
Kaizen, this power is immense, but it's also dangerous. You must learn to control it, to harness it.
The journey of power is never a straight line, is it? Kaizen soon discovered a darker aspect of his abilities, the berserk state. When pushed too far, when his emotions overwhelmed his control, a primal rage would take over. In this state, his power was immense, terrifying even to his allies. He became an unstoppable force of destruction, but also a danger to everyone around him. It was a harrowing experience. Through intense meditation and Master Vor's continued, albeit strange guidance, Kaizen eventually learned to harness this rage, to channel it, leading to his controlled Level 2 transformation. This was true mastery, turning a weakness into a formidable strength. However, the greatest challenges often come from within. The team faced its own internal conflicts. One of their own, a trusted comrade, succumbed to Zurok's insidious whispers of power and glory. A betrayal. It cut deeper than any physical wound. The team was fractured, their trust shaken to its core. This was a dark time for Eclipse Force.
I see the error of my ways. Forgive me. Let me fight alongside you once more.
But stories of heroism are also stories of redemption, are they not? The fallen member, tormented by their actions, eventually saw the error of their ways. They fought their way back, seeking forgiveness and a chance to atone. This trial, though painful, ultimately made the team stronger. Their bonds forged anew in the fires of betrayal and reconciliation. The air crackled with anticipation. Zurok's grand plan was finally revealed to open the Genesis Gate, a portal to a realm of unimaginable chaos and power which would allow him to reshape the universe in his own dreadful image. The stakes could not be higher. The fate of all existence hung precariously in the balance. Team Eclipse Force, now more united and determined than ever, prepared for the final confrontation. Each member knew what they had to do. They steeled their resolve, ready to lay down their lives if necessary. This was it, the ultimate battle, the one that would decide everything, absolutely everything. The clash between Kaizen and Zurok was a spectacle of cosmic proportions. It was a battle for the ages. Kaizen, now able to tap into his Level 2 transformation, met Zurok's overwhelming might head-on. Energy blasts lit up the battlefield. Shockwaves tore through the fabric of space-time itself. Kaizen unleashed every technique he had learned, every ounce of power from his Eclipse core. He fought with the ferocity of a cornered tiger, the wisdom of his masters, and the unwavering support of his team, who battled Zurok's elite guard with equal desperation and valor. It was a dizzying, breathtaking display of power and courage.
You cannot stop me, Kaizen. The Genesis Gate will open and chaos will reign.
The climax arrived. Zurok, weakened but still formidable, was on the verge of fully opening the Genesis Gate. Its chaotic energies threatened to spill forth and consume everything. It was now or never. In a moment of pure, unadulterated teamwork, Eclipse Force launched their final desperate gambit. Lyra, Gron, and Zephyr created an opening, a sliver of a chance, through Zurok's defenses, sacrificing much in the process. Kaizen, channeling all his power, all his will, all the hopes of the universe, unleashed his ultimate attack. Not to destroy Zurok entirely, but to do something even more critical. To seal the Genesis Gate, trapping Zurok and his chaotic influence beyond the veil. The gate imploded, sealing Zurok away. Silence descended. The immediate threat was over. Exhausted, battered, but victorious, Team Eclipse Force stood amidst the cosmic debris. Kaizen, looking at his hands, no longer just saw raw power, but the potential for protection, for unity. He had grown from a bewildered boy into a true cosmic warrior, a leader. They had all learned the harsh truths about the cosmic hierarchy, the seemingly limitless yet ultimately definable extensive power. And above all, the irreplaceable strength found in teamwork. The Genesis Saga's first season concluded, but for Kaizen and Eclipse Force, the adventure you just know was only just beginning.